It's the Duffin Up podcast.
What is going on, Duff Daddies and Duff? It is Wednesday, June 22nd, and welcome back to an all-new episode of the Duffin Up podcast. My name is Brendan Monroe, and gentlemen, what an incredible week we had. What a fantastic week for Northeast golf, for New England golf, and I cannot wait to talk to each and every one of you about it. As always, we are joined by the one, the only Michael Adams. Mike, how are you today?
Dandy, Brendan, just dandy, fired up. You know, what a weekend. You guys were there in the present, in the flesh, on the course. You know, excited to talk to you folks. See that first person perspective that you guys got to, you know, take it all in. What a tournament. Matty Fitzpatrick. If anybody's listening to this podcast and also listened to the last podcast, I gave him very, very minimal props. Said that he was never going to win a major. He did win. he did win
almost instantaneously.
I mean, it's impressive because Timmy, we will get to the introductions of Timmy and Brian in a second, but Timmy has had this crow cake bet going on for almost a year now. Like, and you hit it in 5 days. Like,
and his crow bet is with Willie Z, who's been, I mean, Timmy, I don't know if he retracts earlier said statements about Willie Z.
Did not retract the crow cake. Did not retract the crow cake.
Don't try to bring him down with you.
I know. But hey, I'm so happy for Matt Fitzpatrick. You know, seems like a great dude, and just Willie Z going over to Maddie's folks' parents after the round, saying if I was going to lose to anyone, I'm glad it was your son. That just goes to show you a lot right there. So I will eat my words from last week. Matty Fitz, way to get it done in both 2013 US Am and 2022 Country Club US Open. Impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Speaking of poop in your pants, we do have Timmy O'Reilly on the podcast. Timmy, how was that 18th hole coming down with the crow cake bet going in your mind?
You see my fingers? I got no fingernails left.
Who are you pulling for there?
Matty Fitz, because he was in my lineup, and well, I mean, honestly, I would have loved to see Scotty Scheffler force a playoff there. That would have been pretty cool. A playoff would have been great. Just because we were there to get to watch it, run to the first hole, run to the 18th hole, you know, back and forth. We see it on TV so many time and time again, and you know, to be a part of a playoff would have been great. But not unhappy with the results. When we got to see, we had ladies and gentlemen, the Duffin Up podcast had boots on the ground in Brookline, Massachusetts. Boots on the ground, three sets of boots. Mikey, wish you would have been there with us. But you know, you had your first Father's Day. We'll get to that.
We will.
And but when we saw Matty Fitzpatrick, I'm sure we'll get to the bunker shot, and we will. So I won't spoil it for now. But when he hit that green, I said he just won the U.S. Open. It was one of the greatest shots I've ever seen.
Where were you, Tim?
We were standing right behind the 18th green. So we were standing behind the 18th green, and there was like, you know, a gazillion people in front of us. So we couldn't actually see the putting surface. So we could just see tops of heads, the tops of the flag. But obviously, with Matty Fitzpatrick being way over in the bunker, mid fairway, you know, halfway down the hole, we could see him. We saw him in his head. From the bunker, we saw the ball come up. We could see the ball clear as day and land on this putting surface. He got on the putting surface. He won the U.S. Open right there. I couldn't believe, unless Willie Zalatoris made that putt. But you know, it was just a great weekend, and we did not see Brendan once.
No,
we did not see Brendan once. It was
zero service. I tried to be like, hey guys, where are you? And then I would get your text like 3 hours later being like, hey, my phone's about to die. It was nuts. We do need to talk about you guys following Grayson Murray in the morning, though, because boy, did that turn into an absolute treat. But anyways, speaking of someone with no poop in their pants, because they do not have a crow cake bet yet, Brian O'Reilly looking back, looking sharp with all of the signatures. on the wonderful 122nd U.S. Open flag. First off, before we go into your thoughts, who do we got on the signatures?
Yeah, so right behind me, I went to the practice round on Tuesday, and which was much easier to get signatures from players, but it's looking like we got from in no particular order. The first signature I got, well, I guess this is in an order, but first signature I got was the Aussie Mark Leishman, good guy. He was a
Big leash.
good, yeah, big leash, good one to kick it off, kick off the flag, really get in there. But then we also have Bryson DeChambeau, which is an interesting one, actually, fairly nice to talk to. Harris English. We got Chris Nagel.
Great guy, Harris English, by the way. Went to bought a ticket to the Masters this year because he didn't qualify and walked around for 4 days.
That's amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah, he's for the love of the game, down to earth, very good guy there, Harris English. We got Chris Nagel, Colin Morikawa. We got Siwoo Kim. We got
not Sungjae.
No,
Siwoo.
not Sungjae M, unfortunately. But yeah, we got that. We got Sam Burns, which would have been a cool one for him if he were to finish it out and win there. And then yeah, I think that rounds it out. This other one, I'm not entirely sure. He's from Japan. I'm not sure who it is, but he signed it.
He got on there.
So he got on there. But I don't know if you could tell in this picture here. For some reason, everyone was against signing this part of the flag. So it's a very
very one-sided flag.
Bottom corner heavy there. But still good. Still going to make it. I debated on bringing it out on Sunday to hopefully fill out the other parts of the flag, but I think it would have been a lot tougher to get autographs. I would have had to stand by the 18th waiting for people to finish, but all good. Maybe I'll forge a signature on the other side just to even it out.
Matty Fitz.
Yeah.
The worst part is that you would have had to wait in line. Like you would have had to wait with all the kids too. And like, imagine if they grabbed your flag and like, they didn't sign something for the kid. And then they're like, well, now I feel like a dick.
Well, so that's the funny thing is I could have gotten Scotty Scheffler's autograph, except he like deliberately, very apparently skipped over me because I was standing in front of some kids. So I was like, yeah, I get that. Like I look like the biggest D-bag here standing in front of kids there. So no hatred towards Scotty, but would have loved the autograph for world number one, but all good. So yeah.
Brendan, Harry English didn't qualify. He was almost a Ryder Cup pick. Oh, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
Okay.
So sorry, not qualified. He was hurt. So he got surgery done, didn't make it back to the Masters, and then bought tickets. Tickets and went. It's an unbelievable story. He's like, I live in Georgia. Like I live like an hour down the road. Like, why wouldn't I just do this?
Yes, freaking Masters.
But speaking of, so obviously we're not talking about the Masters. We talked about the Masters before. The Masters this year, I will say, was a good tournament. Right? It was a good it was not a great Masters. We had a great PGA, which we don't get to say a lot because I feel like the PGA is almost always a blowout. This might be the best US Open we've had in years. And I legitimately think, and again, it could be our bias because we're all from New England and the country club is great and we loved every second of it. But boy, walking out there, it just felt like a completely different atmosphere on Sunday. It was cold as all hell. I was wearing pants and a zip up quarter zip. It felt, my sister turns to me, who doesn't go to many golf tournaments. She's like, this feels like St. Andrews. I'm like, you've never been to St. Andrews, so you don't know. But she's like, it feels like a British Open. Like it had that different vibe. It had a very, very fun, but also very intriguing. And I felt as though the fans were fantastic. Like I felt the fan base was fantastic. I just think, I don't know how to compare it to other US Opens, but I felt as though just coming down the stretch, you had, Scotty Scheffler coming back. You had Rory McIlroy trying to push it. You had one of my personal favorites, Keegan Bradley, and the personal hometown hero for probably all of us, really trying to push that as well and almost get there. You have Morikawa surging from, having a terrible Saturday. Like this kind of had everything.
I'm just happy that, New England golf just was exposed a little bit. It was in a good way, it came like it was windy, I mean, a little wind on
Saturday
Thursday,
and
Friday,
Sunday
but
was
Saturday and
brutal.
Sunday, yeah, it was blowing. We get that a lot up here.
Hmm.
I mean, thick rough, just some dog shit lies, just raucous crowds. I watched so much golf this past weekend, and probably a lot of it had to do with the fact that A, it's a US Open, and B, it was in our backyards. And, I just couldn't be happier with, how the crowds reacted. I was waiting for some bozo to do something like premature early on a swing or, none of that. It was respectful. People were, walking right beside a lot of these big time dudes, like videotaping, just being excited, like encouraging. You saw Keegan Bradley tweet it out. I know he's a Woodstock Vermonter, but like we need more tournaments up in this neck of the woods. We really do. And hopefully, it came down to a US versus an England final there with Zalatoris trying to take Matty Fitz to the ropes. Happy to have Matty Fitz pulled out. Would have loved the US to close the deal, but I think it ended. The only thing is I was watching with my folks, and you have Matty Fitz from like 18 feet. You got Zalatoris from like 15 on that last hole 18, and I would have loved to see one of them make the putt, whether it was Matty or Zally. I would have loved to hear what that sounded like on 18. Unfortunately, Matty rolled his to 2 inches like he did all week, just perfect lag putt, and then Zalatoris burns the edge and was in disbelief. But would have loved this. The only thing that could have made this weekend better was a made putt on 18 at a Zalatoris or Fitzpatrick. But you got high scores. You got Morikawa throwing a 77 up there on Saturday. Like, again, this was a test, baby. And what was the final? 5 under?
6 under, yeah.
6 under. That's what you want in the US Open.
Absolutely.
I was laughing because you mentioned the weather, getting a taste of the New England weather. I said it a couple times, is I was just hoping that one of the days it would have snowed just to get like the full thing, just because we're used to it just snowing at random times unpredictably. So I was hoping they would get the full New England, sunny one day, rainy, snowy the next. But no, that'll do. I'm glad it made it. Because I was watching the greatest game ever played last night, and I finally have seen the whole thing now, and I realized that day 3 it did actually rain pretty hard during round 3 of the 1913 U.S. Open with We Met. So I was like, look at that! It's kind of history repeating itself, except it was on the final day there.
Did you tear up at the end?
Oh yeah, I tear up over the smallest things. Like when We Met's dad is home.
Oh my God.
Guilty.
I mean, he just,
God.
It was so funny. Yeah. I mean, he, first of all, for instance, We Met's dad needs to relax. He was a little bit of a hardo the whole movie. He was just like, there is no honor. You don't win anything. There's no honor in that. They're like, dude, relax. Come on.
I'm curious. Yeah, I am curious about the factualness of that and his dad. I'm sure his dad was, like an old school hard worker. They certainly weren't, wealthy enough to have a membership at the country club. But I did hear that like Francis We Met played a tournament the weekend before in the South, and someone asked him if he planned on playing at the country club the following weekend. And he's like, I don't know, I haven't thought about it. And then the guy was like, if you give me $5, you're in. So I'm not sure about like how factual of the story of the movie is. I don't. We'd have to go back and Brendan, do you
there's a reason why they call it based off of a true story. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely
always got to put a little twist on it there.
There's fictionalizations in there, and that was probably one of them. You know what I mean?
But I'm sure they didn't stray too far away from the truth. I mean, we met was a caddy, and definitely in those days, caddies didn't belong at functions or events or playing. They had they had a place in the game,
Mhm.
but caddies can play the sport too, baby. And,
Absolutely.
let's tip our cap.
Tippy
Yep.
cap.
And what is being called the revenge of Harry Vardon? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but 1913 U.S. Open, Francis Ouimet defeats Harry Vardon in a playoff. 1988 U.S. Open, Curtis Strange defeats Englishman Nick Faldo in a playoff. 1999 Ryder Cup, the U.S. defeats Team Europe, which had a very heavy English contingent,
Love
14
it.
and a half to 13 and a half. And then finally in 2022, Harry Vardon waited 109 years, to get his revenge, and finally had an Englishman win the U.S. Open at the Country Club. Unbelievable.
Good little tidbit, Brendan. Brendan's
Good little
tidbits.
we got Brendan's tidbits. One day we'll get Mikey's tidbits, but we're not there yet. One day we'll have the section. But
So how much do you guys spend at the merch tent?
Oh, and we disclose that? Are we
Was
disclosed?
it more than your tickets?
Oh yeah.
Close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I would say yeah.
Between online, the USGA shop, and
Mhm.
in person, oh man, like at least 5 times the amount I spent for it. No, I don't know. That's it. Maybe 4 times, 3 times. But it's just, I mean, it's hard not to, especially when it's all like Nike, cool Nike stuff, and oh man.
I mean, they had some great, they had the top of the top too. So they had Peter Miller, they had the Vineyard Vine stuff, they had all of that. And my buddy Ben, who I went on the Saturday round with, he comes back and he was cold because everyone got cold. So I bought a quarter zip from Adidas, and it was very comfortable. Shout out Seafoam Green. It's my favorite color for quarter zips, and I love it. It's beautiful. I bought a quarter zip, and he comes back with a sweatshirt. And I was like, dude, why did you get a sweatshirt? And he's like, well, I could have spent $120 on a nice quarter zip, or I could spend $80 on this sweatshirt. So I bought the sweatshirt. And I was just like, you literally just made my point for me without realizing it. Just go the extra $40, dude. You're going to spend so much money at that merch tent, even after you buy that. You're going to go back and you're going to be like, wait, I saw this really cool thing. I saw that really cool thing. I want it. I looked at sunglasses while I was there. There was no sun on Sunday, and I looked at sunglasses.
The whole merch tent, it was a whirlwind, and it was too overwhelming for me. It was kind of like,
it was a shock. It was a state of shock when you walked in.
There's so many options, but then there's also only smalls, and people were just grabbing things and holding on to them even if they weren't going to buy it. And so it was like Black Friday shopping, and I hated it. I hated shopping in general, and it was a whirlwind. So I was buying things that I didn't necessarily need because I felt like I had to grab it or it was going to be gone.
Yes.
It was terrible. So that's why I like the online shopping is because I just was able to buy it, and if it wasn't there, that's fine. But I was overwhelmed.
Almost accosted one of the workers because when we saw the quarter zip, it was only in mediums and then 3XLs. And she goes up to one of the volunteers who's working, and it's like, you need to find this in an XL. And I'm like, Mom, chill, relax, it's okay.
Oh man,
you're absolutely right. At one point, I'm holding 4 polos, 3 pairs of pants, a thing feeling like if I don't grab this now, I will never get it, because that's how it's
a zero-sum game,
flying off the shelves. It was bananas. The whole thing. They only had certain brands left of hats. Didn't even have any.
I got the Imperial one. It's actually a good hat, but it just doesn't have the little sweat sleeve. You know what I mean? The little. So you can't really wear this for golf because or else you're gonna get the major imprint, which would be hilarious. But it's a good little hat to wear around the house.
Good little hat. Little cap, tippy cap.
Mike, they did have buckets, and the buckets.
I was going to ask.
Fantastic.
Buckets were electric. Yeah,
they were absolutely electric. You have to order one offline to go with your 88 one.
The same exact bucket.
It was the same exact bucket. It was literally. It was just 40 years newer.
Hey, I got the original.
The OG.
1988 Curtis Strange. I wonder who got that from where.
Probably off Nick Faldo's head.
I know you guys had a grand old time talking about Curtis Strange, the '88 champ.
Mhm.
He almost got emotional on the set talking about PGA Tour and
Oh, boy.
you know the history,
jumping.
the legacy. We're not jumping yet. We're not jumping yet. But I did want to say, like, DeChambeau made the cut, DJ made the cut, like Reed made the cut. I didn't see a single shot from any of those fuckers.
Really interesting.
Yeah, they did not televise the LIV
I saw
golfers.
DJ a little bit on Saturday. DJ had a really bad Saturday and a really bad Sunday. Maybe an even worse Sunday. He played terribly on Sunday.
The coverage was just very terrible.
I've heard. So I didn't watch it because we were there. So like Friday, I watched it, but I was watching also like Peacock. If you're gonna have us pay for no commercials, like don't put commercials on the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
like Peacock Premium literally says no commercials at all. I pay for no commercials. Don't you put commercials? But like I saw like a bunch when I got home after going out to dinner with like my parents on Sunday night. Like I saw a bunch of going back through and you see like all the people tweeting about it, and it's like the no laying up guys literally just being like commercial, showing the leaderboard, 2 shots back to commercial, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what are we doing here? So much so that the chairman Mike Wan, the chairman of the USGA, tweeted back at them and quote tweeted them and said, we need to do better. We will do better for next year. So that's huge. That like, and Juan's a great guy. He's the guy, he did the LPGA for 11 years. He really like built it up there too, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, I think he came out and he was like, at least admitted it. Like, yeah, this was the coverage we need to do a better job at, which is good.
Definitely a lot.
Like, how when you're at a golf tournament and it's really hard to focus on the entire event because you're at that one hole, so you don't really know what's going on in the field around you as far as like other holes and who's in the lead, who's on what hole. So this tour was so well run that they gave everyone a little radio. It was a little Sirius XM radio that you put in your
Amex radio.
And you tune in, and it's the U.S. Open broadcast of Sirius XM.
That's dope. I saw Brendan snap or Insta of that piece in his ear, and I was like, that is dope.
Honestly, it was a lifesaver because I would be walking around and I would have no idea what was going on. And, you're just kind of walking around here and there. And then we ended up kind of plotting in the garden, which was on the first fairway. And we watched the leaders come through the first fairway and then went over to the 6th hole and watch everyone tee off on the 6th hole. So while that's happening, like everyone has that in their ear and they're just like, Scotty made a birdie on 4, Rory bogeyed on 3. Like everything's just going back and forth like crazy.
Sometimes they like Scheffler went to 6 under. I forget if it was Saturday or Sunday. And like you saw it on the, no, I know, but you saw it on the leaderboard tick from 5 to 6 before you actually saw him make the putt or hit the shot. Like, so there was definitely, I mean, it's hard because like I feel like the PGA Tour, like as opposed to what probably LIV is trying to do, where it's like less reporting, more just like shot showing. Like these guys like Dottie Pepper and like
love Dottie.
Yeah, they take pride in their like ability to break down shots and like tell you the scene, like set the stage, which I appreciate as a viewer. Like I want to hear like professional like commentators and analysts like what their lie looks like they have these analysts walking, like Dottie's walking with, they have someone walking with every group, so I don't know, they gotta kind of balance out that. But I was gonna say, Brendan, one thing they did do on the TV, which I hated, was like, so like you'd step up to like a 35-foot putt and like the guy's ready to hit. And like, I think they froze it and they showed like the putt preview on PGA Tour. Like they took another 10 to 15 seconds to like show you the line. And I'm like, I don't need this. Like,
no.
Like the guy's literally about to hit the putt and then they stop it and show you the line. And I'm like, go back to the shot. Like he's about to hit the shot. And I guarantee they freeze the live footing just to get that little graphic in. It's unnecessary.
Well, I will say, if you like the broadcast, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, like they had a good amount of, like they definitely had commercials on the radio broadcast, but it felt like it was a lot less than like what we're usually seeing on the TV. Because like there was, I mean, in my ear, it was just going like bang, bang, this is happening, this is happening, this is like they had guys all over the court. It was wonderful.
No delay
being
either,
able to have
Brendan.
that.
No delay because you're watching
No
the very
delay.
sharp
You would hear
announcing.
it. You would hear it.
It would say Scotty Scheffler. You're looking at Scotty Scheffler,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, he's waggling in the ball. He's waggling in real time, and the shot goes up. He's like, the ball's in the air. It lands in the center of the green. You see it hit the center of the green. I couldn't believe it.
And it was funny to see the greenside reporter who was reporting on it. If they were standing like right next to you, you basically felt like you could like you were on a call with him. You would like you could see him talking and just like listening to exactly what he was saying right there. It was kind of cool.
Hey, let me get in there.
Yeah, right. I'm like, is this two-way? I'll offer some input if need be. Yeah, I got you. Like, oh, it's not that bad of a lie, to be honest. This guy's being dramatic. You can hit that out there.
When Matty Fitz in that bunker, I don't know, Brendan, if you want to name it the Fitzpatrick bunker, but
that was great.
It was beautiful, like especially because I could see it. I don't know if you guys could like. I'm sure you've seen the shot like on replay, but like he drives it there, and you're thinking like he's got to get that ball up quick to get it over and out of the bunker and onto the like. Yeah. But he lined up to like just go left of it. Like it was brilliant. Like he didn't because we were all pulling for Zalatoris. On Saturday morning, it was probably like 1:00. Zalatoris probably teed off around that time because he was like around even, one under. Leaders teed off at like 3:45 on Saturday. So
late
like
tee-offs, very late tee-offs on the Saturday. It was interesting.
So Zally teed off at like 2.5 hours before the leaders because it was a packed lead. Like everybody was like even, one under. So like so many, people around that mark. And I put $20 Rhode Island Sportsbook app, $20 on Zalatoris at 1:00 on Saturday. $20. How much do you think I would have won if he won?
$650.
1,000.
700. That's good. Those are good guesses. $20 to win 700 Saturday morning. So, I'm an integrity of the game guy. I'm not necessarily pulling for my bets. I wasn't like curdling up in a ball when Zally missed the putt on 18. I was happy I just wanted to see someone drain that putt, but couple $700 that's 2 club fittings right there. I'm going on Saturday. That's that's a couple club fittings. So a little disappointed there.
Yeah, so it was great. So we were sitting on the 17th, so we were on the 18th hole just for that, and kind of before. So how it was set up is between 1 and 18 there was like this really nice center kind of where there was concessions and everything like that, and they had this monstrous big screen TV. So I would like run over and watch the players hit their drives, and then I would run back to the TV where my mom was, and then I would watch like the leaders, and then I would run back and see them hit their second shots, and I would keep like doing that and everything. Then Fitzpatrick comes down, and
love to see your whoop stats of the day.
Yeah, how fast we talking running?
Just wait. You wait. Because then Fitzpatrick and Zally hit off and they pass us. And all of a sudden, and like, so everyone's basically like, okay, the ropes don't exist. Like the ropes don't exist anymore. The people go under the ropes and they start doing what like they do at the big tournaments. They start walking down the 18th fairway, giving them space. All of a sudden the Marshals and the USGA are like, get off the fair, get out of here, get off the fairway, because the 18th hole was going to be one of the 2 playoff holes. So the USGA was petrified that everyone was going to, muck up the fairway and muck up the rough. So there are Marshals like all over the place, and they're like, I'm walking down the fairway. There's a couple of other people around me. And one of the Marshals turns to me and points at me and he goes, "You," and I just booked it right by, like I sprinted right by him. I'm like, I'm not doing like, so I get down, I'm watching, like there's like it was very similar, I'm not gonna lie, like how Phil and Brooks were last year. Thank God Brooks wasn't in the final group, or else he would have bitched the entire time. But basically they made like a little circle around Matthew Fitzpatrick, and a circle around Will Zalatoris, and people were just walking next to him and doing all that stuff. And then the USGA did really rope it off after right about 5 yards. If you could see on TV, it was 5 yards behind the Fitzpatrick bunker. Like they really roped it off. They put cops there. So they do that. I see Fitzpatrick's beautiful. I'm like, I was thinking he was going to John Rahm it. You know what I mean? Like going for it. Like I was very scared of that. And he took out his big old set of balls and just plopped them right on the table and, put it 20 feet away. And, people were ready. They're like, we're walking up. And like Boston police is like, you're not walking up. Like Brookline police is just standing there. So I actually walked back to the, I just walked back to like the big screen TV where I could watch it. Cause you couldn't, how long, Tim, Brian, you guys must've been there hours before like anyone just to try and even get a spot in.
The leaders, we saw the leaders finish up at the little par 3 11th hole, the downhill one. As soon as the final group finished that hole, we booked it to 18.
Yeah. So we tried after they went to 6. So we saw them play 6 through. We then went over to 17 because we wanted to see a couple guys come through. And what we should have done instead was just go directly to like the 18th grandstand, because when we tried to go back like 45 minutes later, when I say the line was like, I'm sure you guys saw it too. It was like they were like grandstands full, no getting back in. And it was just.
Now, was that grandstand open for anybody, or did you need a special ticket?
There was the restricted grandstand, which you had to be an Amex member, and you had to like pay a fee, and you had to sign up by like 9 o'clock that day. Like it was a weird reserve section. Yeah. And then no one sat in that one, and it pissed me off. Like that thing was empty the entire weekend, and I was like, "You got to be joking."
Yeah, like I was saying before, I'm all for. I wish they built out more stands around 18. I know they're trying to make it look like so you could see the clubhouse, and I know I don't know what if they were going for aesthetics or what they were, but I'm all for stadiums all around.
Like, yeah, what they should have done is just on the 18th. So on the 18-15 side, like where there was just the boxes, they really should have had a stand right there and then put the boxes a little higher. Exactly what they did on the other side.
Yeah,
like they really should have had like at least some seats right there instead of it just being all like corporate, which again we'll get there sooner or later, but
which is kind of funny. I remember seeing there was like back purchasing tickets back in the day, one of the options was the cabanas, and I think it was maybe Corona cabanas, but that was over on
the 4th hole.
Hole.
So what like, a waste of. I'm not trying to be mean because I'm sure they were amazing.
No, they were
like that.
But it's hilarious. Like by the time the final group goes through the 4th hole, you still have
2 hours. You have 3 hours left in the day.
Yeah, 3 hours left in the day, and so it's just like because we sat and watched on the 4th, 5th hole, just standing there, and the cabanas were right there, and we finished and we went like on pretty much one of the final groups. And then we left there and all the cabanas were emptying out, which I thought it was hysterical. I was like, damn, that would have sucked. Because I don't think it indicated what holes they were on. But for people who aren't looking at what holes it's on, you don't think about that and be like, okay, so I'm done by noon or like whatever time they were done. And they're like, okay, now what? So.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, like we found this little area on the 6th hole. You guys will probably remember it. It was on the right-hand side where all the rocks were. So I just stood on, it was right near the tee. So if you looked at the tee box and then on the right-hand side, there was like a couple trees and a couple big rocks. So we just stood on top of one of the rocks. It was pretty cool. Just watched it. And it was, since they moved the tee up on Sunday, we got a perfect look into it. It was awesome.
The pioneers used to ride these for miles and miles.
Oh yeah. But I do know that this is a little bit of a back burner question. We have covered a lot of the stuff that obviously we want to cover. We'll go back in a little bit, but I definitely want to hear about you guys following around Grayson Murray and being able to see the absolute meltdowns that happened.
Didn't need to follow him. Had the highlight right in front of us. He fell right into our laps.
Yeah. Yep. So what we did was we posted up. What hole was that? Was that the 7th hole? We posted.
That was when it plotted, right?
Yeah. So we posted up on the 7th hole, and the way it worked was we were basically standing on the last row, and from where we were standing, we could see the 7th, seventh green, watched all that meltdown, and then we could see the tee box for 8 and see them tee off that way. And then also
and 10, right? Because
we
8
turned
and
around
10
and we
have
could
the same one.
Exactly. So we could see 10 as well. So we saw him on 7th, quadruple bogey that one where he threw his putter, snapped his wedge on the eighth tee box, and then we could see him on the 10th fairway snap another club from that way. So we saw his whole meltdown, and we could hear, like, I've never seen anyone break a club in person, but that sound is not like anything I've ever heard. It was like the craziest thing to hear someone snap it over his
steel.
knee.
It's a straight steel rod.
Yeah.
Like, that's the funniest part, where it's just like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
I know
it was dangerous. Like, we were like, ooh. Like,
yeah, when he threw the putter, I was like a ruh-roh.
He threw like a tomahawk.
Oh
yeah, he threw like you probably saw Brennan Reddington's story. He as soon as he heard like just him like melting, like just absolutely flipping out, he's like, I got to start filming, and he perfectly filmed him like throwing the putter.
Unreal.
It was unbelievable. But that was the ideal spot, standing at the 7th grandstand, seeing two different tee boxes and a green, which was perfect, seeing all these groups go by. And Bryson looked like he wasn't a psychopath, because he was
like a perfect gentleman. Yeah.
That group right there is just like so hilarious. Like Grayson, Murray, and Bryson in the same group. There must have not been a single word said to each other, like, between them two. Oh, would have been great.
So obviously we're a very small podcast and no one's going to see this, but after he finishes up and we look online to see that he finishes +8 for that hole, or no, +4, he quadded that. He finishes with an 8 on the hole. My cousin and I, we recounted. I think he made a 9. I think he made a 9.
Oh, wow. How funny would that be?
He swiped under the ball twice, 2 consecutive shots. So anyway, onward.
The worst part is I do like me some Grayson Murray too, just because he's an absolute freaking fiend.
I know, it's funny. I never heard of him until your TikTok about him and Kevin Nas beef.
Oh yeah, it was a big old beef. Yeah, like, no, Grayson's had a rough last couple of years for sure. He hasn't been doing so great, but I mean, hey, he made the cut at the U.S. Open. Did he finish in second to last? He did, but he brought home a big old paycheck.
Maybe
between him, the only Graysons I know are Grayson Murray and Grayson Allen, and no, Grayson Allen's not
Grayson's
good.
A tough name.
Yeah,
tough name.
Not a good track record tripping people in the NBA.
And tossing clubs. And tossing some absolute clubs. So he made Golf Week. Don't make me freaking do one sec. Now I got to reload it. I had it up, but because I didn't pause my ad block because they're mean about it, he made $36,000. $36,852.
How many club things is that?
Well, he gets them for free.
Well,
so will just buy him new ones.
I was thinking, so if he snapped 2 clubs in one round, I was like, at that point, you just got to keep breaking them and like make a name for yourself, being the guy who was down to a driver and a putter. I think that would be even funnier, because he came in dead last.
He came in second to last.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He
was in between 2 amateurs. I remember
he was the last professional.
But I feel like at that point, if you're not even coming close, you gotta make a name for yourself as the guy who broke all his clubs.
Yeah.
Tim Cuffett. Brian, have you seen that movie yet?
No,
I don't want to give it away.
Don't give it away. I'm catching up. I'm finding all these illegal streams online. My lawyer tells me to say that they're illegal, so I found all these legal streams online. So
allegedly.
Yeah, it's all alleged.
I allegedly found streams online.
Yeah, right. Whether there's
a nice line in the movie. Hey David, did you have a par 18 with a 7-iron? No, Tin Cup. Well, it never occurred to me even try.
Oh man,
I love that.
Love that movie. So obviously Matthew Fitzpatrick, amazing story. 2013 U.S. Amateur, 2022 U.S. Open. Slept in the same bedroom. Everyone else in the family, in his host family, slept in the same room in the same house. It was very, very funny. Zalatoris, again, being a nice little bridesmaid here, second place. Begs the question, is he becoming? I know we talked about it. We threw out some comparisons. Could he be the new Phil that he just needs to break through in a couple years? Is he going to be the next Lee Westwood or Colin Montgomery? Just get so close every time and never do it. I don't know, guys. I know Timmy's over there being like, please don't break through, but you never know.
He's like 24.
He's 25. 25.
Yeah,
with braces.
No, that's Matt. Fitzpatrick
Oh.
has braces.
Oh, sorry. I thought they were talking about Matt.
No.
Willie Z. He's gonna break through, boys. I mean, it's impressive to see his name atop every major leaderboard and not get it done.
His polos for the week were electric with
Dude, I need that polo.
The silhouette of We Met and this caddy, unbelievable.
I need that polo he was wearing on Sunday.
Look,
It was all weekend. Yeah.
Oh, did he wear it? Was it just different colors?
Yeah, just different colors.
who's his sponsor?
He had a couple on there.
No, but I mean like his clothing sponsor.
Where's the Titleist hat, right?
It's not. It's
So I
not
think
a.
it's probably FootJoy, I guess.
No, it's not. It's a weird. It's not your average company. I don't think. I mean, at least
Jason Aces.
Jason Aces. Chunky Golf.
Yeah, no, right. I can't tell it from here. Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll find out. All right, but anyways, continue on the Willie Z side. He is 25. He's got plenty of time. He has now finished in second place at every major event. So, pretty impressive for a young 25-year-old, but
he's got UKG on his shirt. He's got Simmons Bank. He's got iCapital.
It's got the FootJoy on the collar.
FootJoy on the collar. UKG Simmons. I mean, Titleist. He gets paid
Handsomely.
very, very handsomely.
Good looking dude too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it is FootJoy though. I think he's just sponsored by FootJoy.
And I know we talked about Harold Varner.
Harry Varden or Harold Varner.
No, we want the Jordan foot rocking golfer. Harold Varner the third.
There we go.
Versus Matthew Wolf's like swing path take back. Willie's like every time I watch a new golfer, I just get infatuated with their swings, and I think I'm trying to swing it a little bit like Willie Z. He's got a kind of a slower take back, and he's got a little pause at the top. I don't see bogey for the boys on the
Docket.
On the
None
docket.
of us played.
I played.
We were there. We were watching instead.
Your boy played on Father's Day. You best believe I got the wife to okay that.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Oh, we got to hear the Father's Day results.
Yeah, I'll shoot them over real quick. I played John F. Parker in Taunton on Sunday.
Who'd you play with?
Good little 9-hole track. Played with Ryan Sheen, Brian Sheen, and Mark Allen. So Ryan, his dad, and Mark Allen's a ref. He also coaches at Zavarian. The course went under new management of Ryan's friend's dad. But nice little track. Yeah, 18 minutes from me in Rumford. It's over in Taunton. I shot a 43 on the front and went even par on the back, 35. Yeah.
Interesting.
Two pars, 2 bogeys for a 78. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, I don't know. I don't count it as like a legit 78. It's playing the same course same 9 back to back. So, but on the USGA, it's a 78. So it did some good stuff for the handicap, but nice little track. Swing feels good, anyone else play? I know we're off the rails right now, but I know Brian's shaking his head. He gets out there all the friggin' time.
And I have, since I've returned from Europe, I have plummeted in regards to putting up any good scores. I think it's just my tiredness catching up to me. My back is hurting. But even, I mean, I played yesterday morning, played my classic fresh pond, and my back is hurting. I think it's probably from walking 18,000 steps on Sunday at the Open. That's not good. And I didn't have a ticket that would allow me to sit down in any way, shape, or form. So there's that, but that's what I'm blaming it on. But then I also played with Timbo on Saturday evening. We played Franklin Park, which is one of the first public golf courses in America. A lot of good stuff. That's where Eddie Lowry used to caddy prior to the U.S. Open back in the day. Franklin Park, as well. So there's a
little history lesson for all you kids out there.
Look at that!
Oh yeah,
look at that!
And
little
also,
Brian tidbit. Little Brian tidbit.
Willie Campbell used to be the head pro there at Franklin Park before he went on to take on the country club. So cool little tidbits there, but now it's called William Devine, which is there in Franklin Park. It's one of the two City of Boston public courses. It is a madhouse there. So I played with Tim and Midori there on Saturday, and I played like absolute garbage there as well. So been putting up some mediocre, if not horrific, scores that have not made it to the USGA handicap system.
Yeah. Optional. It's an optional system.
Practice round.
Practice round. I did the same thing. I played in Norwich, New York a couple weeks back. I only brought like every other club, so I only had six clubs in the bag. So I was like, you know what? I didn't have a full bag. I don't need to record this on the USGA gin. Yeah. But I played Chamawa on Monday morning with my dad too. I shot a 40 at Chamawa.
What time did you play there?
I got out at 6:10.
6
in the morning.
Oh my goodness. I would have been I almost played Chamawa 5:50. That would have been the tee time right before. Imagine that. That would have been a riot.
Wow, that would have been a riot.
I would have joined you. Dropped my two guys that I was supposed to play with easily.
Did you get out or no?
Yeah, I got out at Fresh Pond, but
Fresh Pond. Nice. Nice.
I played yesterday at 6:50 Fresh Pond, which was an hour later and way closer. So I opted for that one instead of the Chamawa one. So
like 40 on the front or the back?
40 on the front. Yeah.
Excellent.
I had too many bogeys. I had five bogeys, one birdie, 4 over. But things are going well when I had an eagle putt from 10 feet on Sunday that I burned the right edge. And then I had an eagle putt on 7 at Chamawa. I hit the best drive I've ever hit there on 7, Tim. The first hole you get back when you cross the road. Only par 5 on the front. It's narrow.
Not an easy one.
No, but I went driver 8 iron. We played the white tees. Got to let the old pops, play it forward, tee it forward.
Yeah. How'd he do? Is that his annual round? He's good for one.
He's good for one. He does all right. He does. I meant to ask, did you go with John was John with you guys on Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Father's Day gift.
Yeah. I figured. I just didn't.
Matt Sheridan was with us as well. Brendan was with us, and Brian's friend Sean.
Oh, Brendan was with you guys too.
Brendan was there.
I knew he was there. I just didn't know if he was with his cooler friends.
Yeah. And your dad is an absolute Mike. I didn't get to react to your 78. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Don't want that to let that one slide. That's incredible. First 78 out of the Duffin Up crew this year.
Amazing.
First round in the 70s.
Yeah, not true. I had a 79 earlier this year, remember? But
yes, you did.
It is the best round by far of anyone, and by one stroke. But
my apologies, Brendan. My apologies.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Like you think about these pros who, a lot of these guys never seen the country club before. Like a lot of these guys had never played golf in, Massachusetts, nonetheless. But it's crazy how you go through, of course, once you learn it, you see it, you shoot a 43 on the front, and then you play the same 9 again, and you're like, I know this place 2 times better, and just feel that much more comfortable. And I even said to my buddy, I'm like, every front 9, like you guys kind of know this from my qualifying rounds at the Attleboro Open, like every front 9, like I put myself in a hole. Like it's just disgusting. Like I'll always go out and shoot a 44 and have to come in with like a 38 to even have a chance to sniff at qualifying something. But it always happens. And you just like Brian said a couple weeks back, you got to be a big advocate of stretching. You got to be. I'm a big. We won't really go. I have a couple beers, before the rounds. That's my stretching. But
practice round.
That's my practice. Couple beers, practice round.
No, hey, Mike, you said hometown boys and being in Massachusetts and everything like that. I know we touched upon a tad bit, but Keegan Bradley, everywhere he went, he was getting Keegan chants left and right.
Nuts.
Electric.
Him and Rory were like even though Rory's not a hometown guy, and Rory was treated like the hometown man as well. Got absolutely unreal like support from everyone too.
We were sitting, like Tim mentioned, we were sitting on the short par 3, number 11, and Keegan
108 yards. 108 yards.
Keegan came through. He almost holed out. He put it within inches. It was, and we obviously that's the first bit of like us catching like the Keegan chance, and like it was between him being a hometown guy and also acing that hole. The place, I don't think hole number 11 would have been still there if he holed that out. I think people would have been throwing stuff. Like I would have been jumping from the bleacher. That was insane. So cool.
And Keegan was loving it.
Loving it.
Most emotion I've ever seen.
Yeah. He was smiling.
Pointing to the crowd.
It was adorable. He was smiling the whole time. Yeah. I loved it. He looked like a kid out there. It was amazing.
Yeah. Fortunately, gets the top 10, gets in next year automatically, which is great.
Bang.
Just missed out on the top 5 with Matsuyama Morikawa at 2 under, or Matsuyama at 3 under, 4th. Morikawa tied for 5th with oh God, I don't even remember. Jesus, Brendan. This is hilarious.
He went bogey on Sunday to start, right, Brendan?
He did. He had 3 straight bogeys. Rory and Colin Morikawa both at 2 under par. And then Keegs and Denny McCartney. There you go.
Yeah,
McCarthy.
Denny McCarthy.
There you go, bud.
Don't sleep on Denny, boys. I ran the name by Bryn for our boy. No go.
No idea.
Hard no
idea. Hard pass.
But how about after this weekend? Yeah.
Now she knows.
There's a liquor store in Norwich called Denny's, and Bryn's sister's ex-boyfriend's dad. It's
come on,
no go.
Come on, forgive and forget, Denny.
But he played great. I mean, we haven't talked much about Rory, but again, heart goes out to that dude. He's given everything he's got.
I will say the fans were who they wanted to win. I would go number 1 was Rory.
Yeah.
Like the fans behind Rory this week was insane. Absolutely insane. Number 2 was definitely Keegan. Like Keegan was definitely number 2. And number 3, it was close between Fitz and Zalatoris coming down because everyone was really rooting for both of them. I think people wanted for Zalatoris to get off the schneid, and then I think also with with the story as well from
Fitzy.
I mean, it's an unbelievable story about Matthew Fitzpatrick, like staying in the same house that he stayed at with the same family. I know we already talked about it, but like it still blows my mind that happened.
Scotty Scheffler was also in that tournament in 2013 and made a hole-in-one on I think 6 or whatever part. I don't know exactly.
That's
but
great. Like,
just like
did not know
just
that.
Scotty just puts the ball in the hole from anywhere. It's like I don't understand it. It's like you pan back to 2013, 9 years ago. The kid's 16 and he's putting balls in the hole from 100 plus. Like that shot on Saturday on 14, was it 14?
R5.
No, or was it before? It might have been before that, but no, I forget. But yeah, that I think it was 8. Yeah, because he had a blow up on the back. It wasn't for. I mean, the middle of the were you guys watching on Saturday? Did you guys see that? Like the commentator, I think it was Zinger, was like, "This is the hardest approach shot on the golf course. Like when the ball is in the air," and Scheffler puts it in. Like it's just disgusting what this guy can do.
Best player in the world.
And it's crazy to think that he can go 5 over in like 4 holes, like immediately following that, and pretty much play himself out of the tournament almost. Really,
that is wild. That is.
It
wild.
is.
Brendan,
So
he was definitely a close second to being the favorite out there as well, like getting chance and things like that.
Yeah. Just saying the amount of crazy people for the 2013 U.S. Amateur on here, like I'm just going through it right now. I'm just looking at names right now. We have Richie Wawrenski, so local boy from South Hadley, Mass.
Richie.
We got Bryson DeChambeau. We got Corey Connors. We got Patrick Rogers.
He played
Corey
well.
Connors made it all the way to the semifinals and lost to Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Rogers was there on Saturday.
He was. He played great. We got oh Jesus, there's no one else really good on this side of the thing. Let's go to the other side. The other side, Sebastian Kaplan, I know his name. Nick Hardy, who was a big name for a little bit, was in the top 10 at one point. Matthias Schwab, pretty big name. Scotty Scheffler, like you said. Scheffler made it to the quarterfinals. Brandon Matthews, who made it to the quarterfinals as well. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Brandon Matthews had a following, and one of the guys wore a shirt that said "Let's go Brandon," and then in parentheses it said Matthews. And I was like, this is very funny. Like it's supposed to be kind of political, but at the same time it was funny. You also had a young Chase Koepka and a young Xander Schauffele playing in this U.S. Amateur. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, more guys than I maybe thought, and I'm sure they, like you said, a couple of those guys that you didn't like. Nick Hardy was up there on the leaderboard on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm sure that helped them understand the golf course a little bit. But
yeah, the guy who came in second, Oliver Goss, no one's really heard from him since, so it's not the end of the world. But there's some other guys on there who were crazy good.
Shout out to Oliver. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Oliver Goss. Come on the pod. I would love that.
Who was a guy we haven't really mentioned at all? Like, who was like the most surprising not to, make a push Sunday? Like, one name comes to mind, like most recent number 1 player in the world, almost not. John Rahm. Yeah, Rami. Like
Rahm didn't make a push. No, Rahm kind of fell apart actually.
Little surprising,
Yeah. Morikawa made a push, but because he was so bad the day before, it made no difference. Well, he got into the top 5, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, none of them really did anything on the weekend.
No.
Just happens. It wasn't their tournament, which is fine.
It was nice to get a first-time major winner for sure.
Yeah, and nice for Michael. I got to learn how to bake, ladies and gentlemen, because the next in-person studio podcast, which is hopefully coming up for the Open Championship, Michael will be eating during the entire podcast.
What are the ingredients to a crow cake?
Oh no, it's just a cake that's shaped. That'll probably be shaped in an eagle, and then we'll put black frosting on it, and then put Matthew Fitzpatrick's name.
Where did you get the crow cake? Where did that originate from, Brendan?
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
This is something that is actually going to get our podcast hundreds of millions of views now, guys. I don't know how it. I always thought like it'd be funny to like eat. You know how we say eat crow.
Yeah.
Like I always say,
you do.
Crow.
You do. Yeah,
I always say, how's the crow taste? So now it's like we're just gonna make him a crow cake, and he has to eat crow during the podcast.
Correct. Understand where that came from, but where did the saying in and of itself come from? What's the history of eating crow?
have no idea. That's a great point.
Did you make that up, Brendan?
Sure didn't.
Heard of it.
I mean,
So
crow
it
can't be good, and it must be like crow's pretty prevalent. So it's like if you can't catch crow, like that's an easy protein probably to disgustingly.
Like man versus wild kind of thing.
Yeah.
You need to eat it.
Like if you gotta eat if you're dying of starving, like you can go eat crow, I guess. Like
So it comes from Leviticus chapter. So we're going back to Bible verses.
Oh.
Leviticus chapter 11, as being unfit for eating, and then it comes into in the 1850s. An American Huber piece talked about eating crow. Okay.
huh.
Here we go.
I
In
would
nomine
never-
Patris Spiritus Sancti. Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, you know what this reminded? I know you love Triggs Golf Course, Triggs Golf in Providence, Rhode Island. These bunkers, the bunkers and around it, like these big mounds that had the fescue on it. It looked like they were at Triggs. You could have taken these and put them at the country club, and it would have been the same thing. It was pretty.
Donald
cool.
Ross design, another prototypical New England layout. Triggs, if you haven't played it, go play it. It's a great little track.
I saw Matty B was playing that today.
Yeah. He took a nice little Snapchat of some whole sponsors. I don't think it was Foxy Lady. I think it was amazing.
Yeah, that's hole number 2 is Foxy Lady.
Hole number 2 is Foxy.
Jesus.
It says like
Oh, Triggs.
I forget. Fuck. It says something hilarious like
That's so funny.
something you can do on a golf course and a strip club. Like kinda, I forget what the line was, but I'll have to resurface that on another pod. But we got to get Brian's got a work function in 20 minutes.
I know. We got a lot to cover in 20 minutes too. We'll go quick. KPMG LPGA this week, boys. I know we do our best to cover women's golf as much as we can. Very cool story that the purse for this year's KPMG LPGA championship has doubled. So it has literally doubled from $4.5 million to $9 million. So this is in line with what a lot of the LPGA majors are doing now. I know the U.S. Women's Open went from 5.5 million up to 10 million. The Women's British Open went from 5.5 up to 7. So, finally well-deserved pay raises for our lovely ladies over there. Really, really excited to see them play this week at Congressional. And it was
Congressional. Nice.
Yeah. So one of the things I did want, because when I talked about Mike Wan earlier, who's now the chairman of the USGA, his big thing when he was the commissioner of the LPGA was to get the women on the same courses as the men, because that way when people are watching, they know the course, they understand what course it is and everything like that. And it has proven perfect because they did it at Olympic Club. They've now going to do it here, and it's a very similar layout. Back in the day, the LPGA courses were always kind of second rate, not great. And then I think last year it was at I think the U.S. women was at Pine Valley last year, or maybe the U.S. women's Pine Needles. Sorry, not Pine Valley, Pine Needles. But they're playing some exceptional courses now and really playing in good layouts. So I'm really, really happy for that.
That would have been huge. It'd be Pine Valley. They don't even allow women there.
Right? Seriously.
All men.
If you put Rory in this field, he might get his first major back.
Jesus.
2011 U.S. Open. I remember watching it at Congressional. He lapped the
Murdered
field.
it. Yeah.
But
everyone thought this is Roy's time. He's about to pull a what's it called? He's about to pull a Tiger and go on and win like 7 majors in a row. Yep.
But I liked it was a cool little venue, so I'm excited to see. I know Nelly Corda's back from her blood clot. I think Jennifer Kupcho won the LPGA Meyer Championship last weekend in a playoff. I think Lexi Thompson hasn't won a tournament in like 3+ years, and that's a big storyline. So, you got I think Brooke Henderson, your girls was Brendan and I think Tim. I think you guys both have a little thing for Brooke. She was
Sure
doing
do.
well this past
Sure do.
weekend. I was
I like
watching some
Lexi.
of it.
I like Lexi.
Lexi ain't bad. But yeah, good to see the women getting hitting the white ball around for show.
Jennifer Kupcho won the final ANA Inspiration this year. It is changing the name to the Chevron Championship. And that is one thing that I will not give the LPGA kudos for, because they should have never moved. They're moving it to Houston from Rancho Mirage, where it had always been. Bad decision on the LPGA side. But we're not talking about the negatives right now. We are talking about the positives with Minjee Lee will also be playing. She won the U.S. Women's Open this year. She was fantastic in that. And I'm really excited to see how they do at Congressional, because I think they're going to do pretty well. And then people's eyes will it's like, oh, like these, because you always hear it. Every year you hear it. And it's so annoying. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like I sit there and like, you always hear like either a member at the course being like, well, if I played from the women's tees, like, I would be on the LPGA tour too. Dude, they're playing further back than like, if they played at Pawtucket Country Club, or if they played at any of the country clubs that we were at, they would be playing from the men's championship tees. Like they're playing 7,000, they're playing 6,800 yards at least, usually 6,700 yards. Like that's more than most men's tees. So like, shut the hell up. Go shoot your 85 and be happy with it. Like, I'm done with your nonsense, people.
Love it. Pawtucket's like, what is it? 60, 6,100, 60.
I think it's 62 or 63, somewhere
It's a
around
shorter
there,
course, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a par 69, though.
Right.
So it's par 69 next. Anyways.
These women can play, baby. These women can play.
Oh,
It was cool to see, actually, some of the college kids, like the kid from Oklahoma actually had a good tournament at the country club.
Oh, Vic?
Travis Vic. He went to Texas.
Not Vic, but
oh.
Yeah.
Greaser?
Who?
Austin Greaser, right. I think he played at Oklahoma.
No, it was.
No, he plays at UNC.
Almost.
Yeah, they held their own though, Mike. You're right.
You're
absolutely correct.
I did have a little inside information that young Pop.
Oh,
She's not behaving for mommy, so Daddy might have to run early from the podcast. Poppy, why are you not behaving for the mommy, buddy?
She's got the best set of eyes around.
She's a
Tim,
beautiful
that
one.
this has to make the clip, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Hi, Poppy.
Oh,
There we go.
and there goes Mikey. We'll see you next week, Mike.
There we go. Future LPGA tour member.
Right there, young Poppy Adams. Oh, Rhode Island champion. Fantastic. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Obviously, there's a bunch of LIV golf stuff that we do have to cover. Brooks is gone. Not surprised. Literally not surprised.
He was dancing around the question the all interview.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think we talked about that last week too, when we were just like, you know what this means, right? That Brooks is gone. Like this absolutely means Brooks is gone.
He fooled me. He had me fooled.
Oh, I think I said it. For a fact that after Bryson signed his deal, he went to LIV people and was like, "What's Bryson's deal? Give me $1 extra. $1 extra."
Is that true story? Is that true?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
It's funny.
I thought you were being factual with that. He would definitely want to do that, though.
No, I saw Paige Sporanic had a thing on Twitter where she was like, Bryson did this solely to continue to make Bryson's, Brooks did this to solely make Bryson's life miserable.
I can't believe these guys, Poppy, we just can't believe these guys.
Oh, adorable.
Leaving the PGA Tour for what?
If you only listen to this podcast, you might want to switch over. Just open up your Spotify account and you can look at the video. We have the best, most adorable guest we've ever had on the Duffin Up podcast.
Young
Currently
Pop.
on.
Yeah.
We got young Poppy Adams on the pod.
She's behaving now because I have 4 screens here and she loves screen time. She's a big time looking around at the monitors. But we can keep talking about LIV, and how guys are, their market value is supposedly $100 million.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys. So both Abraham Ancer and Brooks are gone. They made a proposition to our boy Matty Fitz, who rejected them.
Awesome.
As well as Colin. If you guys saw it on Twitter today, Colin Morikawa basically came back and he said, "I'll say it again. I am staying on the PGA Tour. Now, please let me pour my cereal into my bowl of milk." To which the entire golf internet had a collective meltdown over the fact that Colin Morikawa puts milk in first when he's having cereal.
Weird.
I don't know if I can trust him. Maybe he should go to LIV Golf. I'm just kidding about that, but oh my goodness.
It's like the one thing that's weird about him. Other than that, he's just a perfect individual.
Is that a deal breaker, Brian?
Yeah, hall pass.
All pass, Brian. All pass.
No, at least he's guaranteeing that he has milk before he pours a bowl of cereal. Because I've poured a bowl of cereal and then find out that I don't have any milk or the milk is expired, and that's heartbreaking. Trying to put that cereal back into the cereal box. So
you guys would be a match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven, right there.
You would have one bowl of cereal and one bowl of milk, and that's and then you guys would just make them match. It'd be unreal. Oh, happy hall passing, Brian. Happy hall passing.
So did Morikawa actually denounce those rumors?
He did. He did on Twitter today. I can read it off verbatim because I posted it earlier on the Instagram. It was a fantastic tweet. He goes, "To state for the record, once again, you are all absolutely wrong. I've said it since February at Riviera that I'm here to stay on the PGA Tour, and nothing has changed. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some cereal to pour in my milk." I thought it was a fake tweet. I literally thought it was a fake tweet. And then I went to Twitter and I'm like, holy moly, he actually did this. Max Homa responds, "Happy to hear, as Colin is the man if this is true." And that's a big if. Almost impossible to trust a man who pours the milk in first and then the cereal. Oh, so many people went after him for that. It was fantastic. Unbelievable. But
might be the smarter play if you think about it.
Well,
Colin might be onto something here.
I don't know if you heard, but the PGA Tour has not announced today. They're going to announce it tomorrow. But basically, they are doing for the top 50 members of the FedEx Cup. So for the next year, they basically play in an 8-event showcase or mini event where there are no cuts. And the prize money is between $20 to $25 million per event. Does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar, Poppy? Does it sound familiar? Hi. So basically, the PGA Tour has gone. You LIV Golf. You didn't think of it. We thought of you. You thought of it first. We're doing it better because at least there's a little bit of merit behind this, which is great that it's going to be the top 50 FedEx Cup players. So that'll be very interesting and can really change some great careers around. Uh-oh.
Hey, how do you guys feel about this? Is I forgot to ask this, but at the end of this week's round, or when Matthew Fitzpatrick, obviously he has the birdie putt to win. All he needed to do was 2-putt to make par, to put the pressure on Will Zalatoris. But how do you feel? I kind of liked it, and I kind of shows what kind of guy Matthew Fitzpatrick is. But instead of marking the ball, waiting for Zalatoris to putt, and then putting in that 1-foot putt for the victory, for all the fame, or the picture of him putting in and fist pumping. I like the fact that he just put it in, got the pressure off him, and said it's in Willie's hands. I don't know how you guys felt.
I think it's a little different just because it was so close, but I completely agree with you. Like if I'm in that, I'm just going up and I'm just smacking it. Like I'm just hitting it in.
All business, no dramatics.
Yeah. Nope, just put it right in. I would definitely do the same. I liked it a lot. Right, guy.
Yeah, no, I think it's all situational. And I'm all for just getting things over. I think there's one less thing for him to think about, kind of doing that. But yeah, you guys, I know there's a lot left to talk about, but I'll let you guys continue. Feel free to continue without me. I'm gonna head out. I got a work call with Singapore, so it's been a pleasure as always, and stay Duffin Up. It's always a pleasure. Take it easy, Poppy, the cutest guest we've ever had. Love you all, and peace out. Signing off. See ya.
Bye, Brad guy.
Take the
See you
bacon.
later. Down to 3. Down to the.
It's about to be a 2-man show. I did want to say about Matty Fitz though. Psychopath move, him leaving the pin in on everything.
Oh, I
Right,
love
Poppy?
it.
Absolute psychopath. No, but I'm a pin out guy. Poppy, come on, buddy.
Mike just went on mute.
Yeah. So we still got Pop in it. We still got young Pop here, but I kind of like the pin in. I think I've just gotten used to it now with all the COVID rules. I keep it in.
It's
Sue
funny.
me.
When we were playing the other day at the round with Brian and Midori, we had a guy with us. His name was Coleman, and we pulled the pin every time. And he's like, "Wow, I haven't seen anyone pull the pin since COVID." And so I guess it's still a thing, but I
just
I'm a
keep it
big fan
in.
of it out. But it's all personal preference.
Yeah.
I mean, he won the U.S. Open, so hey,
Exactly
it
right.
works.
Oh. Well, Tim, to finish it off.
Yep.
We
do
need a
have to-
golfer poll. We got one?
Yeah, we got one.
Brendan, did you have something else lined up?
Well, we
I'm
just
here.
have the
I'm
little
here.
thing about Nick Faldo retiring.
Oh, yes.
But
Yes,
we can
yes.
also talk about that next week too, honestly.
No, you shoot. It's a short one. Shoot from the hip.
Yeah. So he just said he'll be retiring after the Wyndham Championship this year. His replacement is Trevor Immelman, who is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like him too. I think he's fantastic.
Big fan.
And Faldo came out today and said he was not. He is not going to live. He was on the Dan Patrick show. He said he never even thought about it, but he basically said he didn't say that they didn't approach him. You know what I mean? So basically what I think happened is they probably approached him and Nick Faldo was just like, I'm good. I got enough money. But it was really cool. He did like his interview from like his home office, and he's got like all the 6 majors. He has all the flag pins and all of the clubs that he used in those major championships. Is really cool. Not us, boys. Not us.
Hey, announcement to anyone listen. We are, as a group, as the Duffin Up podcast, we have officially signed up as a group for our first scramble tournament.
Yes.
We have 2 coming. We got 2 coming this fall, which is great.
The Nathan Parker Classic.
Yep.
Swansea Country Club. Great event.
Yep.
And great cause. And can't stay tuned.
Can't
I feel like we
wait.
should make
I
a
can't
pack.
wait for that one. That one's going to be fantastic. In September, we got, hopefully, we have the My Brother's Keeper event coming for us. So we got a foursome for that bad boy. So, we may be looking at some other options too. Who knows? I know we got a couple of buddies. The Save Park Golf guys really want us to, and we definitely want to go to whatever tournament they're planning, especially if they're not in Minnesota in October, because that sounds very cold. But if it's somewhere warm, I think Poppy wants us to go somewhere warm too after seeing that beautiful face. But
that event that you're talking about, maybe see if we can do some sort of live event there.
that'd be sick.
Just think out loud. Anyway,
Wonder if we could do it for the Nathan Parker one too. That'd be cool too.
I do. He did text me back. He's like, let me know if you guys want me to come on the podcast and like we can talk about the charity golf tournament a little bit if we wanted to. So we can either do it before or after, a little recap, or
Yeah.
I'm sure that would be a good time.
Yeah. No, that'd be awesome. We'll definitely get him in on that. That'd be
so
sick.
we could do him one better. We'll have one right on site.
I know. That's what I was thinking. We could definitely do that. That would be. Timmy, you're coming over. We're putting all the gear in the van. in the Ford Escape or the Dodge Ram.
That'd be good, Mike. That's a good idea.
It's a really good idea. I like that a lot.
Talk about the cause, get more awareness to his foundation and everything like that.
Absolutely. So do we want to pull a golfer poll for young Pop so she can get baptized into the golfer poll?
Yes, I am very curious to this one, you guys. This is a quick one. Just US Open based, our last US Open question. In the last 10 years, so Rory won it in 2011, Tiger won it in 2008, all right? But from 2012 on, not including this year because there's kind of a recency bias, from 2012 to 2021, what is your favorite US Open? Or the one that says, this one was awesome? You may not remember all the winners. You may not remember them all, and that's fine because that's not going to be your answer.
So I think this one, I think we have recency bias, number one, and number two, I think just because it was
local
are, within 40 minutes of where we all live. Like, I think this is huge. And it's also like, it's not the first golf course in America, but it's probably one of the most famous golf courses in America and one of the most prestigious. So like everything on that side, I think is great. I liked Chambers Bay because of how pissed off everyone about it was, and the fact that Jordan Spieth won it. Like, that was when Jordan was coming up. I really, really liked that one. I'm trying to it's tough to the Olympic Club one with Webb Simpson. I actually thought was a little bit of that's starting in 2012. Marion, I was in college for, and that was around Marion is 20 minutes away from Villanova. So while I didn't go, I know the course, and Justin Rose, I really like.
Justin Rose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind. Recency bias would probably go this one. Poppy seems to agree, but I would probably go. I like that 2013 one with Jay Rose.
Yeah, we all agree that the 2018 one at Erin Hills was the worst, correct?
Yeah, it was
like that one was, or sorry, 2017 at Erin Hills. That was the one where it was way too scoring. Like, I think Brooks Koepka won at -19.
Correct, but it was also 8,000 yards. Like, they couldn't have made it any longer. But
do you know who came in second at that U.S. Open?
Which one? The Brooks Koepka one?
2017?
Justin Thomas, right? Or Phil?
Hideki Matsuyama.
And?
The lefty,
Brendan.
Brian Harmon. Oh.
Yeah.
Tommy Fleetwood came in. Wow. This is a very impressive, finish. Brooks Koepka, Brian Harmon, Hideki, Tommy Fleetwood, Ricky, Bill Haas. Wow, what a throwback. Xander, Trey Mullinax finishing top 10 at a U.S. Open. That's impressive. Who would have thought? Trey Mullinax. He couldn't even remember who he was. But again, I hated that Erin Hills one. It was way too easy. And then, of course, next year was Shinnecock, and it was the polar opposite, where it was way too hard.
Overcompensated. Brendan, I have to agree with you. Chambers Bay, by far, was my favorite because
until this year.
Besides this year, yeah. Of course. Or Tigers or whatever, or Rory's, whatever. But yes, this year for sure. Recency bias prevails. Also, local bias prevails. Mm-hmm. But I still, to this day, if I want to get pumped to watch a round or play a round of golf, type in Jordan Spieth 16th hole. The entire week he didn't show emotion of happiness or excitement. He made that putt on the 16th hole. That was like a wow, wicked down. If you remember, he was lights out putting. He let out and it gets me jacked up every time. That's what I see when I see a U.S. Open. Chambers Bay, that was amazing.
That was cool. And I loved how everyone complained about it. Like, everyone was like, this course was terrible. It's like, all right, dude, come on. Like, the winner was -9. It couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other, Torrey, I thought was Torrey was cool last year because of the story, with John Rahm, you know what I mean? That's a really cool story.
Took a trip to Wingfoot.
That was so cool when you got into Wingfoot. That was sick. I will say that was awesome. Gary Woodland at 2019. Okay.
Yep.
Pebble.
Warren Keimer, just because of the location.
Pat Pinehurst. Yeah.
Because the ladies had it the week after as well.
Yeah. Which they shouldn't have done, by the way. They should have waited at least.
Yeah.
Or like do it the next year. So it's like prepared. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit of a slap in the face. Like if I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't totally like that, but that's okay.
No.
All righty. Well, Poppy's telling us I think it's time to sign off.
Poppy's had enough. I'm gonna go. I will see you guys. Hell of a pod. Love you guys.
Heck of a pod, guys. Very excited for next week. We got our boy Nick, aka Fat Chops, coming on. Then we got a couple guests coming up too. So I'm really excited about that. We'll have a really good one. So just me and Tim left. But thanks everyone for joining. Get on out there, duff it up.
Play better, baby.